What's your favorite bit of sign language?
Oh, in Norwegian, this is bullshit. I don't know if it's that the same of the world, but it's really nice. And I really like the word communication possibilities. Because it's so funny.
Hi, I'm Andrew Trendle. You're watching Enemies in Conversation, and we're back again with Aurora.
Hello.
How are you doing today, Aurora?
I'm doing very good. I'm really tired, but only in my body. My soul is awake.
The sun is shining, our souls are awake.
Oh yeah, it is. I haven't even... Yeah, it is.
Spring is in the air.
Spring is in the air. It's finally happening. We can all go pull our dirty bodies out of the caves of depression.
But I gather you spend quite a bit of time in London now, right?
Yeah, I do. I don't know why. I think I feel... I can feel the pressure now more and more of living in small spaces when I grow larger. So it's nice to go somewhere. I think I enjoy going to the big cities like London.
Yeah. But it's been a couple years since we last spoke, just before the release of The Gods We Can Touch.
Oh my God, is it that long?
Yeah, 2 years. I think it was the top of 2022.
Oh yeah, I had my jellyfish hair then.
Yeah.
Good times, Andrew.
Good times.
Good times.
How's life been since then?
Life has been all over the place, hasn't it? I've been touring the world once since then. And I've made a new album. A new child. So it's been very full.
And how was it? I mean, because also fans have recently got their hands on this book, the Gods We Can Touch.
Yeah, I wrote the fucking book, didn't I?
Which is beautiful. You fucking did.
I fucking did.
What made you want to kind of add this extra element to kind of the universe of the album that fans could kind of get inside?
Well, I always write books. Available now on PVC2. No, is that a channel? I don't know. I always write a book, Andrew, for every album. Because when I write an album, it's not very random. It's very big for me. And I like to be consumed as much as I can by it, because making albums is the only thing in life that brings me true joy. So I love just doing as much as I can, you know. I paint a lot. I have hundreds of paintings from every era. And I have written a book for every album. The 3 first I haven't released. I might one day, if people want a whole collection. I make sure the books are made the same, so there's none, so one book won't come out and it's shorter than the others and you can't stack them. I hate when authors do that. That happened to me once and I almost killed myself. But yeah, no, I really love it. There's so much. It's so hard when you have so much to say about something and you really want to say it right, so you want to learn every angle about it and the history about it, and then you want to philosophize, which I always think is a word. I don't know if it is. But you want to philosophize about it and just really figure out how to do it satisfyingly good and beautiful, you know. So I love just reading a lot and researching a lot, especially with The Gods We Can Touch, which had a lot to do with religion and history and spirituality and people, how we deal with it. The big questions needed a whole book to kind of answer. And I've done the same for this newer child that I'm boiling.
So what happened to the heart? Album number 4, 5?
Well, it is 4 technically.
Yeah.
In my heart it's album number 5, but it's chapter 4 because one chapter had 2 albums.
Yeah.
Step 1 and step 2, which was so hard to explain when we talked about it. But this is chapter number 4, kind of album number 4 or 5, depends who you ask. But yeah, what happened to the heart is the name of this album. And this book as well, and it's a question I've been pondering a lot lately.
Yeah.
Especially the last 4 months. It took a lot of writing.
Well, let's start with the kind of the launch single, the next single that fans are going to hear, which is Some Type of Skin. A beautiful
Yes.
song, absolute banger. But it's got that lyric in it. We're good people and we both deserve peace, as difficult as that seems. I mean, that lyric really seems to speak quite powerfully to where we're at right now.
Yeah, because we are. It's such a simple thing to say, I found, but so necessary, even though it shouldn't be. We're good people and we deserve peace, which we aren't being given now in this world. And I think when I first began writing this chapter, I was looking at the history of the heart and kind of how we have, what the heart has been a symbol for, you know, even before we knew about the anatomy of a human, like scientifically as we do now. We talked about the heart and the core. People knew a long time ago that the emotion is here, love is here in the chest, family is here, pain is here. And we've known this for so many years. And in ancient indigenous cultures, the heart was a symbol for spirituality, the gate between us and all like interconnectedness, us and each other is just like a really big thing. And then the philosophers came, like Aristotle and Plato and all of those guys, and they stated that the heart was a pump. The heart was a blood maker. No, the heart transfers oxygen. And the heart became more and more a medical thing. And in 2022, all the indigenous leaders of the world, they gathered together with no true attention from the world, but they gathered together to plead to the world and to the way we rule our world, the way politics work these days, to that we are just acting with our mind. We aren't acting with our heart at all. And that moved me so much. So that kind of instigated?
Yeah.
I said a word? Oh, what a day. But yeah, that instigated the whole process. These indigenous leaders pleading for the world to put the heart back in the way we do things, which we aren't at all anymore, especially the people on top of it. It's almost like they know the world is gonna end, so everything we care about doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
But it's not true. But yeah, what happened to the heart is the most important and beautiful and sad question I've ever wondered in my life.
And that kind of, more questions came up, right, as you went on tour and you started to meet like female leaders, people you described as like women with true knowledge in Colombia, started asking real questions about kind of where we're at and why we're here, right?
Because it's hard to talk about, like, when the world has grown so accustomed to being apathic and the truth has never been easier to share, but the truth hasn't been easier to manipulate either, ever. And AI was created without our consent. Nobody asked us, the people, if we're ready to have something that big being thrown upon us. And now so many things are going to change, which I don't think we can yet grasp because of that. Another true form of power to manipulate people and to embarrass people, to lie, there's so much that you can do with it that's dangerous.
Yeah.
I think people are so used to just being over-flooded by misinformation and information. And sadly, we're looking at our influencers and celebrities to tell us what we're supposed to mean about political things instead of reading about it and listening to true experts on the matter. And of course, I'm very vocal about things, so I do think it's important to, as a person with a voice, whatever, to show people what you stand for, but to be the only arrow for people to show them what they should mean that's dangerous
Yeah.
as hell. So I'm really concerned, but I have a lot of hope, but I'm really concerned about just the state, and everyone's necks are fucked. Everyone is hurting. Everyone is tired and depressed and apathic, and kind of nihilism is being very fashionable to kind of joke about, and suicide, we're kind of like, just, I don't know. We have lost touch, as I've said for many, many, many years, but again, I'm kind of just, we have really lost touch with something we used to have that was really beautiful with us.
Yeah. Well, that's it. The last time we spoke was kind of post-COVID, and, it was post everything that happened around George Floyd. COVID also made people ask a bunch of environmental questions and how we're together and how we relate with each other and the earth and stuff. And you said it was encouraging at the time. You said it was always a good thing when the oppressed aren't the only ones fighting and the privileged are starting to fight as well. Mm-hmm. That's a sign of progress. How do you feel about that progress now?
I feel like because of the overflood of information, like we aren't meant to look at a genocide happen for 4 months on our phones before we go to work. Because of the overflow of information, our attention span is our biggest weakness. And I think we know how to care about something for a little bit, and then we kind of lose touch with it again. And our ability to be persistent about the progress we feel like we deserve is also weak, which is understandable. I'm not blaming us for that. It's a very natural reaction to where we are at as a species now. But then I think we're still being forced to become apathic. And apathy is the biggest enemy to progress again. But I feel also like in the shadows, what is not on the news, there's so much good things happening, and the world being literally on fire right now, if it's global warming or injustice or slavery in Congo, or the way they're being forced to mine, or a war that nobody can stop. And people that can, they won't, because war is business also. I feel like amongst all of that, there are a lot of good things happening too, because people are proving that we are tired of peace, basically. We want more than that. We want real change and liberation and real progress. Because what was peace for me and you here in London was not peace for so many out there. So I'm kind of tired of peace and speeches of peace, because we deserve more than that also. But yeah, that's why I need to write another book, because it's filled with shit like this.
Well, did you find any answers on the record when answering that question, what happened to the heart, and what else kind of did you touch upon in kind of following that thread?
I kind of did, because in the album, at one point it gets a little ugly, and it gets very harsh, and it gets very uncomfortable, I guess, before it breaks apart. And then in the end of the album, there is a insight and truth that you need to go mend all the wounds you didn't acknowledge for all these years. Your own, or like our wounds as a common group of people. And I think that's what needs to happen. I think something needs to break apart a bit before we can truly, if we are given the chance to build up something new again. Who knows where the world is heading, The least we can do is to just keep being in touch with each other and being in touch with ourselves. I think that's why this album, like the first single, Your Blood, the second one, The Conflict of the Mind, and the third one, Some Type of Skin, it's all very bodily things, I guess.
Yeah.
The album is very based around the human and where within us the soul of humanity is hiding. But I think the more we take care of ourselves, because now we're stuck in pain. And many of us don't have the energy or the courage to even begin doing the small things that can make us feel so much better on a daily basis. Doing small things in life that even just like remembering to drink enough water each day will eventually make you feel better, and it will eventually show you that the small changes you do, they make a very big difference. And it's all about just the very small things we do every day to each other and to ourselves. Because imagine being a human today, you're on your phone, disconnected, being lied to, being manipulated. Then you see what's wrong with the world, or you think you see it, and then you don't know how to do anything about it. So you kind of escape into something else. And then you are hungry and you feed yourself with poisonous food that either inhabits the pain of the animals we are torturing to make the food, or the weird things from the factories we don't know what are, which makes us sick. Then we go to the doctor and we get medicine we don't even know works, because it's more about selling the medicine from the brand than it is to actually make the human better.
Yeah.
Like, imagine living in that world where everyone who's supposed to feed you, help you, talk the truth to you, is just constantly bringing you into a system so they can earn money. Is it so simple?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, it is crazy being a human today.
Yeah. So like, the world's on fire, let's make some money while we can.
Yeah.
Seems to be the vibe.
Yeah, it is a bit like that. And people are getting so tired of celebrities, of the politicians, just like the Golden Globes. Like, the more and more people are getting tired of rich people celebrating themselves while the world is burning. I don't know. You see people just getting tired of it.
Yeah.
Compared to like 50 years ago, when it was all the rage. It was a hoot.
Well, that's why it's quite reassuring, because there's been a big discussion in the UK this past couple of weeks about whether people want realism in their music and to focus on the bad, or escapism in their music. But you've proven that you can do both.
You can do both, and you should do both, because art is both. And I think if you do one too much, it gets bad again, you know?
Yeah.
So it's all about balance, isn't it? That's what we need. We need both, and we deserve both also as human beings.
And I read that you would only write this record in unsafe spaces that made you feel quite alien. I mean, where did that take you? What does that mean? And did that kind of, if anything, make you feel more certain about the things you were certain about already?
Well, usually lately I have gone to a place, locked the doors, and turned them lights down low, and then I've made an album. But this time I wanted to be many different rooms and temperatures to write the songs, because I needed to access a lot of different auroras in this album. And it gave me access to a lot of parts of me that I haven't really faced before. Even parts that scared me a little. Very personal parts, dark. I've been exploring my own darkness more this album. So it is maybe my most personal album, even though it's still about something so big. It is definitely my most personal album in my life. So yeah, I've been learning a lot of new things.
And did that create some new sounds? I mean, because all the singles, there was the new single is a banger. We've also got Conflict of The Heart, which is lovely. Your Blood, that should be a Eurovision song. That's awesome. But yeah, I mean, what can you tell us about kind of the sounds you explore on this record?
Well, I'm exploring. It's a very human album. There's a lot of things being played. And it has a lot of different moods because every song belongs to a different part of the process for me. And the album is, again, very different from these 3 songs. But I always like doing that. I like releasing songs that confuses people, and then the fans that I know really like the complexity. The fans I treat like kings, and I would never underestimate with my music. More songs that are so multi-dimensional to me, I know they're gonna feel very satisfied because there's a lack of it. Because people expect music now to be very instant and very free.
Yeah.
You know, that's why there's all this shit music going around on TikTok. But there's also a lot of new cool artists though on TikTok, which is really nice. And I like that they can, what is it called? Promote themselves.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. I think TikTok should be used to promote, not you shouldn't write music for TikTok.
No. It's so bad. Oh, but what was I saying?
Sounds of the record, different vibes.
Oh, was that where I was going? Jesus. Okay. Oh, yeah, but it's very... The rest of the album, actually, except for these 3 songs, is very different. And I've been exploring a lot of interesting things. There's new sounds I've never heard before. I've been experimenting a lot. And it's been so fun. I've had so much fun. I nearly shat myself every day. Not that I have an issue with that.
No, but it's a good sign of a good time.
It's a good sign of a good time. Yes. No, I've had such a good time. You have no idea. I don't even know how to explain it. I've just been exploring so much and I've been playing so much. It's extremely playful. And I've been working with people that I admire. Like Frederick plays the mandolin so great on one of the songs, and this violin player from Norway, Håkon, is just amazing. And my friend Nico, we've been having so much fun with, it's just been amazing.
Yeah, and back with Tom from Chemical Brothers too.
Yeah, always. My mate Tom from Chemical Brothers, we just have a lot of fun. It's always, we feel like 2 aliens walking around, and we just, we have the same hunger for something exceptional that just, I don't know. So it's been really fun. I'm really grateful. I texted him in the evening and I was like, Tom, puke, vomit all over my song, please. And he did. Like 6 hours, for 6 hours or 4 hours. Already 4 hours later, he sent me back and I kept everything.
Just that Dayglow rave vomit.
Yeah.
Did you get lost in his garden again, or have you found your way around now?
I managed this time to not. I'm trying to not do that again. But it's weird because this time it was his daughter. No, the one time I got lost in the garden, it was his daughter's birthday. And this time it was his birthday. So I just love bothering them, him and his poor family, on their birthdays. I never leave them alone.
Do you have them marked down in a calendar so you can show up and ruin things?
Yeah, and I'm like, happy birthday. And then I gave him a cookies wrapped in a napkin.
Yeah.
That I found somewhere.
Oh, you found the cookies?
Yes. On the ground. I was kidding.
He's okay. Don't worry. Tom's okay.
Is he though? Have anyone here heard from him?
Tom, please write in the comments if you're alive. Blink twice. And you also were, I've never said this name out loud before, Chris Greatti?
Greatti.
Greatti.
Chris
Greatti. He's cool. He's what you'd probably call a maximalist. Like, he brings that out in like Poppy, Yungblud, Blink, Willow.
Yeah.
What did he bring to your songs?
Yeah, that. Because I tend to go into very dark landscapes and very like floating. I like when my song sounds like a landscape. But I needed in this album to have a few songs that sounded like a different part of the process I'm trying to deal with in this album. And also we just have fun. Like most of the people I work with are very, there's little plan in it. There's little strategy in the people I work with. It's very based on, mostly I meet them in a bar and I'm like, yeah, tomorrow, let's go now to the studio. Or it's very much like, like with Chris, it was that I liked his hair because he had not a mohawk, a mullet
back then. Like a glam rock.
Yeah, like a glam rock thing going on.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who he had worked with before or who he was. But because of the glam rock thing, I was like, oh yeah, this seems very interesting. I feel like I can see already that's going to be fun. And we had a lot of fun. We laughed so much and we just play, Sometimes it's about the art. Sometimes it's about just playing. And sometimes it's about both. And me and Chris, we just have a lot of fun. He's one of my really good friends now.
Yeah. So Tom brought out the raver in you, Chris brought out the glam rocker in you, and did Dave Hamlin of Beyonce King Princess fame bring out like the diva in you?
I remember I had lost my voice when I went to the studio with him. Because it's not often I work with new people. I like to but sometimes it's nice to be surprised and to be thrown into the unknown. Not the unknown from that horrible Willy Wonka.
Oh, you saw that?
Party, but like...
Oh, are you not gutted you couldn't make it in time?
Yeah, I was gutted. I would be amazed to see the unknown up close like that.
It's the little noise
Why
the
the
kid
fuck
makes.
was he there? What does the unknown have to do?
He goes, what is that? And the little noise the kid makes. And the kid goes like...
He's so nice. And I just love that he was there in the Willy... Like, it's the best thing I've ever seen. I've been really enjoying that. Anyways, but yes, to be thrown...
That's your next music video. You should recreate the Willy Wonka thing. Sony...
Don't out my ideas.
Sorry.
Andrew. Always. No, but to be thrown into the unknown a bit, I wanted this day. And the day before, I was like, oh no, I want to cancel because I want to do something else. But then my... manager was like, oh, but try. I was like, okay, I will try. And I had lost my voice because I don't know why, but I had no voice when I came there. And then I was there for 4 hours and I was like, okay, I want this. Can you make it sound like hell? And he was like, yes, I can. Harder. And then he made it sound like terrible. And then I just shouted because I couldn't sing, so I just screamed stuff. And it was really satisfying. And then after 4 hours, I said goodbye. So it was a really fast, beautiful, ugly thing. But it was just what I needed.
Speaking of like that kind of primal thing, you played the drums on this record, right?
Yeah, a lot. I love playing the drum. But I love...
Not on every song, you just...
Because I don't like to play on a drum kit, mostly because I'm bad at that. And I find it very little enjoyable then. But I'm a very, very good percussionist. And I love being in touch with the rhythms because I don't know what is a rhythm you would choose. I can really experiment with new rhythms and new ways to do things. Because I love a very big diversity in the beats, in my music. I think because a long time ago I realized that a lot of deaf people or people with hearing disabilities like my music. So I make sure to always have a very vast variation in the bass regions, so it can be felt, and the rhythms, because that's, I guess, a very important part. So I always try to make sure I have a very exciting, rhythmical... I don't know what that was. I have no words, but you know what I mean. It's clear. But I know Norwegian Sign Language, and I don't know why everyone doesn't learn. It should be mandatory. Like, what the hell is going on with the world when so many people aren't included in the basic communication of the world?
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't understand. Sorry, now I'm always going on this huge.
Well,
but
I find
the
it quite
world
interesting.
should, but it makes so much sense. Like, why just the basics? We should all. It should be mandatory. I really can't believe it that we aren't there yet.
What's your favorite bit of sign language?
Oh, in Norwegian, this is bullshit. I don't know if it's that the same of the world, but it's really nice. And also the way they, I just love the way it feels, the alphabet. The alphabet is kind of similar to, I met someone in Vancouver that we kind of could speak to each other a bit. Thank you is the same in many places. But in Norwegian we say 1,000 thanks, so it's like 1,000 thanks. And I really like the word communication possibilities because it's so funny. Sign language.
The vibe of this record, how do you think it's going to change the live show? What can we expect from these upcoming gigs?
Oh, yeah, some change. I'm watching one of my favorite shows in my childhood and adulthood was Avatar, The Last Airbender. Not the movie, we don't talk about that. And I've always felt like I was air or water. And I feel like people are so scared to change. They're scared of me changing. They're scared of the world changing and themselves changing. But that's the most beautiful ability we have, I think, is that we can change all the time. It's so freeing. Jesus Christ. But it will change, yeah. I want more air. I want to create more space, I think, forward. Because I love dynamics and air. And I want every song to also have like huge balls.
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but yes.
But Royal Albert Hall, I mean, that's plenty of space for balls.
Yeah. Royal Albert's balls.
But Royal Albert Hall, big venue, big show, excited for that?
Yeah, but I'm excited for every show.
Yeah.
I'm just excited in general.
And Glastonbury?
Oh yeah, that's gonna be fun.
I think by the time this comes out, it'll be announced. If it's not, we'll cut it, but we should be safe. Glastonbury!
Glastonbury, yay!
Which we all totally know about.
Heck yes! Mathematics. In the name of the mathematics, I will conquer Glastonbury. I feel like somehow I have to redeem myself there. Because every time I go there, I've always had a holiday for like a month. And boy, do I know how to take a time off. So I always come there all shriveled like a raisin. like into the business. So this time I'm gonna come back pulp and sweet like a plum.
But Glastonbury is good for spiritual healing, though, so...
Is it though? Doesn't
No, it's
people
not
die
true. People
there?
say that. People just take
It feels like the
loads
worst spiritual place I've been. It's fun though.
It's really fun, but I've never come back feeling better than before I left.
But I love Glastonbury because it's so iconic. And just don't... Make sure that if you're going to use drugs that you know what's in it. There should be like a testing. If people are going to do it anyways, there should
they
be
have that
like...
at Glastonbury.
Yeah, they do? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So test your drugs. But most importantly, don't do drugs. Fucking stupid thing to do.
Any more amazing advice to end on, Aurora?
Don't do drugs. Don't be a don'ter. Do be a doer.
Awesome. Aurora, thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Andrew.
Cheers.